You're watching Detroit's own WHPR TV. Detroit Live.
Hi, this is Billy E. Jones, Talk Beat Jones. You can watch me 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on WHPR TV 33 Now app. Download our free app at WHPR TV Now.
Sundays, 8:30 a.m. Eastern.
You wouldn't have to go anywhere because this is the Talk Beat Jones and Well, we're hot, and I mean hot, hot, hot. Psh, burn your fingertip, touch your tongue hot. This is the Billy E. Jones, Talk Beat Jones show, and I'm so happy to be here where it's nice and warm and cool. Yes, warm outside and cool inside at the TV studios, 33 WHPR, WHPS, 160 Victor Street, Highland Park, Detroit. And all that. I say Detroit because Highland Park is known as the capital of Detroit. How about that? Remember, Billy E. Jones, Talk Beat Jones. We're on the air every Sunday. We start, of course, at 8:30 and we end about 10. You can be with us all morning and evening because we repeat ourselves, come back live again, repeat broadcast at 8 until 9:30. How about that? Sunday nights. And remember, tell your friends that they can reach us. If you say, let's watch Talk Beat Jones, they say, well, I don't have cable. I don't have anything else. But speaking of cable, TV 33, WHPS, WHPR is on cable from 7 a.m. until 12. That's from 7 a.m. to 12, Monday through Saturdays. Oh, no! You get a bonus day. How about Monday through Sunday? Every day, 7 days a week. TV 33 is there on cable channel 90, Monday through Sundays from 7 a.m. until 12. Well, I'll tell you what, it's been very, very interesting. Very interesting. I don't know if we want to talk about Donald Trump at this particular time because, yes, we do. We want to speak on Donald Trump. You know, Donald Trump is playing. I didn't tell them to do that. When people are doing these things, send him back, take him out, and all these chants, etc. And he sits up there and he acts like, oh, are they really saying? And then he kind of gives them that look, that Donald Trump look. Yeah, that Donald Trump look, and he says, well, okay. You know, I didn't tell them to do that. But they just did it. You're a liar, Donald Trump. You know that you got your folks ready to do these chants, set your, what you call your people to go out before you and give them a little hint what you want to hear. And you're happy about it. Do you realize that Donald Trump's presidential ratings went up? America? People who are saying, oh, we got him, he's this and that and such. Do you know his ratings have gone up? For all the people who are thinking, well, we're going to get rid of him after when this election comes up. Folks, you better open your eyes. You need to open your eyes real wide and understand that some of those folks who are telling you that they do not like Donald Trump, when they go in that voting booth, they will vote for Donald Trump. Let's get ready. We got a war on our hand right here in the elections time. Are we ready? Well, we don't have no time for all this infighting. We have all of these Democrats coming, and they're going to put in their foot in the waters to see who can reach out and say, I can take on Donald Trump. It's going to be a war. It's going to be nasty. It's going to be messy. And as my mentor, Mr. the late, great Mr. Tatum Easton used to say, it's going to get nasty, it's going to get into the pigsty, and it's going to get muddy. And if they're not ready, if you are not ready to tussle with Donald Trump, and people may say, well, when he go low, you go high. Believe me, that is not going to work. You know, we have this tendency to want to say that we are above the fray. I'm too educated, I'm too sophisticated, I'm too whatever to get into the fray of a discussion that may get nasty. Well, that's the reason as we look around and we wonder how it is that these people that are nasty are winning. It's because us sit back, we let folks call in on the telephones, talk really irrational. You sit back, you talk to each other and say, oh, that you shouldn't have said that. Ooh, that wasn't nice. But guess what? They get their point across. But you sit back, us sit back and listen. And then you listen to the telephone calls that come into the radio and television stations. And those folks that are hosting, they're getting greater and more calls. Why? Because they're tapped into that element like Donald Trump. People who are disgusted, that's the difference. People who are disgusted with what is going on in Detroit. They're disgusted with what's going on in the United States, but we're speaking of what's going on in Detroit. I know we go around the world on the Roku box, Amazon, the Apple, the Fire Stick, and Alexa, and everywhere else. But we're speaking about Detroit at this particular time. And people are voicing their thoughts, and their thoughts are really not pleasant to hear. If you don't want change, that is. If you are satisfied with the way the system is set up, you're sitting back and say, oh, let them talk, let them say these things. They're not organized. They're not going to do anything anyway. They're just talking. Well, is that true? Or are people really sitting back and saying, here's how we need to do these things? We have to wonder. We have to look. You have to say, I'm ready to step aboard and be a part of the change that we are looking to make here. When you go to look at what is happening at the Charter Review Commission Board, it's a shame. There was so much hope. There was so much hope. People were very, very wanting to make a change, and they wanted to have their voice heard. And when this board was put together, or with the idea of this board, people were wanting to have their voices heard. They came out in record numbers. And what did they get? And what are they getting? They are now going to remove the meetings from the various neighborhood meeting spots. To where? And why? And who's making the call for these changes that was not approved by the community? My friends, I submit to you, are we sitting back and we are letting folks do whatever they choose to want to do once they're in a position of power? When you have folks, 9 people, such as the charter folk, and they can't get along and they can't do anything, and the outside force says, well, let's get them someone like a referee to come in and find out what's wrong and give them some tips on how to make this right. One problem. The chairperson says, after listening to you, referee or mediator, you are for the other folks. You're not for me. You're for them other folks. Now, someone tell me, is that why they have that or had that mediator there to get to the source of the problems? And if the problem comes back to where the chairperson feels it's her and says, no, I'm going to fire you. We're through with this. And have the power to do that. And did it. What type of situation have we placed ourselves in when we have people that can have the position to say, I don't care what no one else is saying about right or wrong. This is my gavel, and I will bang it when I want to, and I'll turn my back to you folks who are having questions and saying things that I don't care. I've got the votes. I've got my cronies. So you can come up, you can rattle, you can rant, and you can do all you want to do, except now we're going to take it away from the areas where people could come easily to be a part of the meetings. I'm going to take that away. I'm going to take my meetings and I'm going to go play ball where I want to play, where I got protection. And people are saying people are going to get killed. Why would people even think that someone's going to get killed at these meetings? It is because of the persons that is calling the police or was calling the police. And they're saying anytime you have a folk who are excited and you bringing in the police department or folks from the police department to handle it, you have an opportunity to have a conflict. That's true. That is true. So what is it that we are looking in the future? If we can't remove folks for their actions or their inactions, then what's the use of putting people in a position if you can't oversee them as a community group, as a community folk? You give away your power because you feel the system is in place to work for you. And then you find it's not, and there's nothing that you can do, except now you're losing the enthusiasm. You're having your meetings taken from the neighborhoods into, where the chairperson and the charter people can be protected, because you better not get out of order now. Big brother would be looking over your shoulder. And then you say, well, the police, well, we can talk with the police. We'll go to the police commissioner meetings and see how well that is working for the people. And you wonder again, these are elected folks by the people. How did you get bamboozled? How did you get bamboozled? It's rough, it's tough. But you know what? You can't give up. You cannot give up. And yeah, we do have, from the terminology, the spook who sat by the door. Remember the book? Yeah, we have our spooks who sit by the door. But the only thing is, they're spooks who sitting by the door, but they forget they're supposed to be checking out what's inside the door and coming to the outside folks and letting them know how to deal. But once the spooks are getting inside, they want to stay inside. They finally like it. Like Mikey. They like it. We have work to do, family. But you know, the wonderful thing about it is we have some folks here that are able to pick up the mantle and run with it and get folks excited and let folks know exactly what is going on. That's the whole process. You've got to peel back the onions. Peel it back. You got to take back what is rightfully yours. This city is yours. We can't just sit back and say, ooh, look at what they're doing, look at what they're taking, and look at them just rolling over everything that we thought was ours. Come on, my friends. Let's get smart. Let's weed out the spooks. Don't let them sit by the door, because you know who they're serving. You know who they're serving. So what are you going to do now? What are you going to do now? By the way, the telephone number here is 313-868-0342. In case you decide you want to chime in and make your thought early on the Billy E. Jones Talk Beat Jones show, because, you know, this is the doctor talk time where I love to talk, and in case I hit something that says, hello, got your mind running, got your heart pumping, getting your tummy a little tight, and you need to express it, you can bring it here on the Billy E. Jones Talk Beat Jones show. And don't forget about that R.J. Watkins watch party. To all the friends and fans that's watching R.J. Watkins watch party, remember, you can see it now or you can see it later. Remember, we have our program is on demand. You can watch it anytime, 24 hours a day, TV 33 on demand. And of course, you can go back in some of the files and pick up shows on the Billy Jones show that you did not see. Some wonderful, great shows, great guests. And so if you want to find out more, go in the archives, check it out, see what's going on. And again, we have some wonderful times here. I noticed one thing. We have a lot of people that will call in with information that they feel is valid. Maybe somewhat controversial, but they feel is valid. And as long as the person that they are speaking on is not in the studio, they will call every day and talking about that person or that office and talk them down. And they have supporters who will say, that's right, tell them. But what I noted is that we have those folks will come to the studio, and then all of those folks that were so brave and have all of these wonderful, great, negative things to say about those individuals or about how that office was running, they get meek. They get meek. Some won't even call in and talk to that person. Others, when they do call, who have been so big and bad and talking all that smackaroni, now you got the person right there on TV with the telephone and the mic. And what do you choose to do? You choose to go soft. You choose to go soft. Yeah, I've heard folks talk about the clerk's office. I've heard folks talk about the lady who's running the clerk's office, the city clerk's office. But the lady that ran the city clerk's office was right here in our studios on a popular show. Did the people call and attack? No. So now let me reverse my conversation and say to the folks who do call in, you're doing the right thing. You're not attacking. Because when the people come to this studio and they get behind the microphone here as part of our family that's making the report, negative or positive, there is a way that you speak with them. And we appreciate you doing that. So when someone is saying, oh, you're soft. No, you're not being soft. And yes, Billy said, I made a reversal that quickly. Because we are respectful people. Even when we are mad, upset, and angry. Until you finally, like what's going on in the Charter Commission meetings and on the Police Board Commission. people are being taken over the top. The one thing about these boards and commissions is they're being led now by women, by ladies. Does this have an effect on the fact that there is a certain fright mode that says, I better call the police because it looks like it's getting out of hand? Is that why a person could say, well, you're not following the Robert Rules of Order when we say stop talking, you stop talking? Rather than say, let's take a moment and adjourn 5 minutes so we can get this together, we're going to say, no, we're going to have this commissioner dismissed, removed, and the police steps in and actually handcuffs that commissioner, arrests that commissioner. And they say, well, yeah, he was arrested, but we're not going to place any charges against him. And then the chairperson turns around and says, yeah, I'm with him. I'm with him in what he's talking about because that facial recognition situation should not be. So I'm with him. But he's been arrested. Are we not putting people in the chair position who understand the different degrees of how to maintain order or how to reestablish order without the police? Without the police? It is a simple timeout. If someone that's on the commission or on the board will not stop talking or will not stop, you simply take an adjournment for 5 to 10 minutes and reestablish order. You don't have to have the police and call the police and make a big ruckus of it. So now we have this problem. The police is involved. And do you want the police involved in the meetings that the public is supposed to have a venue to come and voice their displeasure at some of the decisions? I don't think so. In fact, I know so. I realize that there is a certain fright to a woman. There's a certain fright to a man. But what levels is it that make them decide, I can't handle this. I need outside help. I need the police. Even though we're in a public setting, I need the police to help. Wow. But you know what? This is Detroit. And in the making of this city, you will find we have the backbone. We have the backbone to make things right. I believe that the mistakes that we have made with these commissions and with these boards will make us stronger, make us better in the future, because you won't just run for the okie doke and let people put money in other folks' pockets to take a position that's going to protect their interest. And you're going to vote for them because, remember, they can put the money in their pockets or on their campaigns. But it's you, it's me, that vote for those people. And when we turn around and say, okay, they got the votes, but where are the people? It doesn't matter. They put it on the paper. We got to get stronger. And for those folks who say your vote don't count, when those people tell you that your vote do not count, ask them one question. Why? And let them explain. And when it's all said and done, ask, well, why is it that that person was voted into office? Because you and all of your friends said, I'm not going to vote. Let's change that. Let's be greater than that, family. Let's understand Malcolm said it's the ballot or the bullet. We don't want the bullet, but we can take the ballot by having you to go out to vote. I am Billy E. Jones, and this is Talk Beat Jones, and this is the Dr. Talk time because I like to talk, and people tell me they like to hear me talk. Just kind of breeze right along and give you an overview of what's really going on. That's what's going on. Hopefully, we can make these changes, and let's take the hope away and say, let's make these changes and do greater by the city, because remember, it's for our family. And for all those folks out there who had loss of power, my goodness, my prayers go out to you. Well, it's about time for us to take a little time off. Mr. Tyler, I'm ready to take that exhale. And remember, family, this is the Billy E. Jones Talk Beat Jones show, and we're on every Sunday now from 8:30 until 10. And also, don't forget, all around the world. And you can call me, text me, I should say, 313-412-3111. Once again, the number is 313-412-3111. And don't forget, on Mondays from 8 to 9 a.m., I will be with the Hair Doctor Show from 8 to 9 a.m. along with JP. Stay with us. We'll be back. We'll be good. Will you be good? Hope the lights get turned back on. Have to go anywhere because this is the Talk Beat Jones, and